All right, this is the last of the graphing worksheets. And in this one, we're going to do X and Y, which means we're always going to put 0 in for X and then 0 in for Y to find those two intercepts. And in this first one, I don't even have to do it. I know the first intercept. It's the y-intercept. When I put 0 in for x, y is going to equal 9, and that's because I see that y-intercept. Now I do need to um, put it in for y. So let's go ahead and do that. Got to subtract 9 on both sides. So I have -9 equals 2x. Oh, I'm going to get some really nasty fractions. No big deal though. I know what I'm doing. 2 goes into that 4 times with 1 left over. Okay, it's not too bad. 1/2 is a lot easier than thirds and stuff like that you can get. So not so bad. Okay, and we'll go ahead and graph that. All right. So the first one is, it's easier to graph because we know we're going 0, 0, and it's easier to graph right on that line, this line. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 8, 9. Oh, I got 6 twice. How did that happen? 10. All right, so 0 and 0 and 9. And the x1 is going to be y0, -4.5. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, right dead in between. And I'm going from here. That was pretty awful. And I'm going to move you just a little. There we go. There's our line. I don't like doing lines in Word because I can't make them color-coded, and I'm trying to keep things color-coded. All right, number 2. We already know what our y-intercept is. That's what the b, or the 10 in this case, is. That's 0, 10. Now we just need to put 0 in for y. Keep doing that. And solve for x. First thing we have to do is subtract -10 on both sides. It's going to give us -10 equals -3x. Again, I'm going to get some pretty goofy looking fractions. 2 negatives make a positive. 3 goes into 10 3 times with 1 left over, right? So 1/3. Not my favorite fraction. All right, so that's my 3 1/3, 0 point. So first I have 0, 10. And then I have 3 1/3, 0. Man, I'm so bad at this. Maybe that will. There we go. All right, next one. Now this one's not in slope-intercept form, so I do have to do my 0 for x, 0 for y. I'm going to put 0 in for x first, and I see that y equals 2. And if I put my 0 in for y, well, that's going to be x equals 2. All right, so they both get 0, 2. That makes my life easy, right? They're going to go through right there. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. I think it's also in the same form. So let's hope it's as easy as that one. That one was pretty easy. So we have 2y minus 6y equals 10. And I got to put a 0 in for x and a 0 in for y. So let's do 0 in for x first. 6 times 0 is nothing. 2y equals 10. Got to divide both sides out by dividing it by 2. It's going to give me y equals 5. And for the second one, I'm going to put a 0 in for y. And it is going to turn into a fraction, but it's not too bad of a fraction. It is going to give me a negative. All right, 6 is going to go into 10 one time, leaving me with 4 left over, which reduces down to 2/3. Kind of the same stuff we're getting in the top one, but so our two points are going to be first 0 and 5, and then 0 and -1 and 2/3. Just seems easier when you graph it, even when they're fractions on those axes. It's a lot easier to get the point exact. Not easier for me to draw my lines. I need to, if I was doing this on a piece of paper, I'd probably pull out a ruler just to help me out. Because, well, you can tell I need it. All right. So let's go ahead and do the next one. The next one's a little bit harder because there's more numbers, but really, I think this one's actually pretty easy. Let's do some navy blue. I want to do navy blue. That's my favorite color. So we're going to put 0 in for x and 0 in for y. So let's do our x first. If I put 0 in for x, 4 times 0 is 0, leaving me just with 3y equals 12. I got to divide both sides out by 3 because that 3 is multiplying the y, and I get an answer of 4. Next, I'm going to put that 0 in for y. All right. And for y, that's going to give me 0. 4x equals 12. Divide both sides by 4 because it's multiplying the x, and x equals 3. So for the first one, I have 0, 4, and then 0, 3. Just seems easier to graph when they're on the... Oh my gosh, look how straight that line was. Straightest one I've done. All right, for this one, I can't even really put zeros in because that implies that I have 2 variables. I only have 1 variable. I think we all know the song and dance for 6 and 7 by now. Y equals -4 means that all the values of y are at -4, making this horizontal line. And x equals 2 means that all the values of x are 2, can't go through that y-axis, and it's making a vertical line at 2. All right, I didn't change my colors that time, I'm sorry. All right, so keep practicing your graphing, and I will see you in class, and we're probably going to go on to slopes if you're up to this worksheet. So I'll see you in the next class.